Yeah. So there's been movies and there's been miniseries about the life of Christ, but there's never been a multi-season show where you have a lot of time to develop the cultural context, the biblical context, the historical context, some of the artistic imagination that can allow you to do some backstories to fill in some of the gaps. But that's what really got me into it, was this notion of, I've always seen Jesus and the followers portrayed on stained glass windows or in paintings. I want to bring them down from the stained glass windows and remind people that they were human beings that 2,000 years ago were facing the same thing that we were facing. And so for some people, even who aren't traditional believers, they're embracing the show as a first century historical drama.
And was there any, you mentioned during your speech that there was a challenge during filming. Would you like to go a little bit into that? What was the most challenging aspect of filming the show?
So we've been doing the show now for 5 seasons and it's never gotten any easier. Every year it's constantly challenging because we're doing this outside the system. We're maintaining our control of the content. And so when you do that, that means you're also responsible for all of the problems that can come with that. So whether it's weather or whether it's trying to get the right actors or the right locations, we have constantly found ourselves desperate. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was asked to speak at the prayer breakfast, is we're constantly in a posture of prayer and desperation going, okay, this is supposed to get a little easier, but it hasn't. And so sometimes doing things on your own outside of the system can be more challenging, but the reward has been significant as well.
And how have you found the reaction to the show?
I'm sorry?
How has the reaction to the show been?
Oh, I mean, the reaction to the show has been overwhelming. I mean, right now, we're the most translated show in the history of television in every country in the world. By all objective measures, we're one of the most viewed shows in the world. But what's so cool about it is wherever I go around the world, someone can come up to me and say, your show changed my life. And so that's been a really cool experience, is just to see the impact, which means a lot more to me even than the numbers.
What do you hope viewers can take away from watching The Chosen, especially people that may or may not be religious, people that are devout religious?
Yeah, there's plenty of people who watch the show who are not religious, who are not a traditional Christian believer, but they really appreciate the first century historical drama, and seeing the most influential and impactful person who ever lived was here 2,000 years ago. That means something. And I think that what I hope people take away is that when you see Jesus through the eyes of those who encountered him, whether it was his friends or enemies, you can perhaps be changed and impacted in the same way they were. If not, fine, just enjoy the show. But I do think that we're seeing a lot of people being impacted by the fact that Jesus was not a stained glass window. He was here with us and he has answers for a lot of our problems.
And so there's a great reception here today. There's a lot of anticipation for season 5 of The Chosen. Yeah. Is there anything that you can tell us, maybe a little bit sneak peek about the show?
Yeah, season 5, I've never been more excited to bring a season to the world. This is about Holy Week. It's the most impactful, important week in history. We see some of the greatest hits. Again, even if you're not a traditional churchgoer, you know about the triumphal entry with the palm branches and Jesus turning over the tables in the temple and the Last Supper and Judas's betrayal. These are all big things that happen in this season, but we do them in a human way, in an intimate way, in a way that The Chosen is known for.
All right. And what has been your favorite part of creating the show and bringing it to the people?
Well, my favorite part of doing the show is when I'm able to release it. The actual doing of it is really hard. I'm not sure I love filming. I love having filmed. I love being able to say, okay, season 5 is now ready to the world. It's ready to go to the world and I can't wait. It's coming to theaters. It's going to be a huge season in theaters. So I'm uniquely excited about, all right, this is my favorite part. I get to now show you the fully born baby.
And so you did mention a possible season 6. How longer do you think the show, how much further do you think you could take it?
Well, I know. I mean, we have 2 more seasons. So right now we're about to shoot season 6. Finish the scripts on that. We go into filming in less than 2 months. And then next year is season 7, and that'll close the chapter on this part of the story. But we've got more Bible stories coming.
Yeah, that's exciting stuff. And so lastly, is there any important message that you'd like to send out to the community, maybe to someone that's never watched the show before?
Well, I've just really loved being here in Fresno. I always love coming to Fresno. It's been a handful of times. 2,500 people today gathered for a prayer breakfast. It's very uplifting. And I think that that's what people can take from whether it's this prayer breakfast or not. Even if you're not a traditional believer, if you just like good television, consider this show as a first century historical drama. And maybe, just maybe, it'll educate you or enlighten you on something. And if not, then you get to just see some good acting, some good storytelling, hopefully. All right, thank you.
Hi, I'm Monty Torres with Fox 26 News on YouTube. Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel, where we have loads of great content for you to choose from. And while you're here, why not click on the subscribe button right here? That way you can stay in touch with all the latest breaking news, everything news related within the Central Valley. And thank you for watching.